everyone. Today we are going to add the third border to our medallion quilt. So we're going to do a whole bunch of flying geese. I believe there are 80 flying geese. So if you can look at the border, I have flying geese plus a circle applique piece on the corners and in the middle. So if you remember last month we did flying geese, so I'm not going to go over how to make the flying geese, but we'll still go back to that 4-on-1 method, and you'll need to make 80 flying geese. Now, so you will need to cut 20 colors of fabric, so your prints. So you'll cut 20 of those, 5.5 by 5.5, and then you will cut 80 3-inch by 3-inch of your background fabric. And then, so they'll be just kind of the opposite of last month, where last month your background was in this triangle piece. Now our print fabric's in this triangle piece. And so they'll be just a little bit bigger this month. We will trim them to, I think it's 2.5, let me look real quick. 2.5 by 4.5. So just using the same method to make the stars last month, use that to make all the flying geese, okay? Once you have all 80 flying geese put together, I know that sounds like a ton, but once you get going and chain piecing, it goes pretty quickly. And then make sure you trim them down 2.5 by 4.5, and then you're gonna put them together in sections of 10. So all going the same way, sections of 10. And I just laid mine out and kind of decided what way they wanted to go, or you could just, if you have 5 different fabrics, you could just do every other one, or however you want to do it. Lay them out how you want them, sew them together. I like to sew them so that I'm sewing, looking at the point, and then sewing right. Make sure, of course, 1/4 inch, but make sure you're not going over that point. And then you have your nice little points all the way along. Okay, so once you have 8 of these, 8 little strips of 10 flying geese, you're gonna put 2 on each side of your quilt. And I put the circles on the quilt. So I did 8 of these applique circles, and I'll show you how to do those in just a second. But you could do anything you want there. If you wanted to add 2 extra flying geese in that spot, you could do that. If you wanted to do a different applique, you could do that. If you just wanted to do a solid square there, like a 4.5 inch square of a print or whatever, you could do that. So I did the circles. I thought it was fun just to bring a little curve into this border, but you can do whatever you want. On my sample blocks, I just did like a 4-patch, so that was pretty simple. So really you can do whatever you want, and you'll need 8 of those blocks, whatever they are, 4.5 inches by 4.5, and that one will go in the middle of each row, and then 1 on each corner, so you'll need 8. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make the applique circle. So this is going to be hand applique, and of course if you wanted to do a raw edge applique, do a little buttonhole or blanket stitch around it, or zigzag, you could do that as well. There is a circle in your pattern to go by, and we're going to use this circle to trace onto some fusible interfacing. So this is some really lightweight or sheer fusible interfacing. And so you'll need to trace 8 circles. So I just traced a circle onto my interfacing, and then I just rough cut around it, leaving at least a 1/4 inch around. I'm sorry, you can't see that line very well, around that trace line. Okay. Then you're going to take that interfacing and place it with the fusible side onto the right side of your fabric, okay? So this part's fusible and this is your right side, and they're going to be together. You're not gonna press it yet, okay? So I just pinned it in place and then I sewed right on that line. Now circles are sometimes hard to get really smooth and even. If you'll just put your stitch length a little bit shorter, like a 2 or even a 1.8, then that helps make that curve smooth. All right, so all the way around, and then you're going to cut just into the interfacing and turn it right side out. So, well, first of all, trim 1/4 inch around. You can trim just with regular scissors and do some little snips to make it lay smooth, or you can see I use pinking shears, and that helps it on those curves lay smooth. So I turned it around, and at this point you can either finger press it into place so it looks nice, or if you want to use one of these Teflon mats, it's nice because you can press, because now this is fusible on this side. You can use it to just kind of press it on, not press it on, but press that edge nice, and then you're good to go. And then you have this fusible. So now you can take your square, say this is our square, and press it on, and it holds in place so you can hand stitch around it. So once it's pressed on, so this is pressed on to a little bit bigger piece, but you can take just a needle and thread, okay, and then I like to just catch right into that edge of the circle, and then just a little bit underneath, okay, all the way around. And then that really is a seam, you know, you cannot see those stitches if you just go right into the fold and a little bit under, then just continue that all the way around, and then that will hold into place the circle. Okay, so you can do 8 of those, and then just as we have done before on our other borders, first we're going to add your little sashing piece, and this is another 1.5 inch piece, 1 inch finished. So add those onto your star and dot blocks, and then you can start adding. So I sewed your circle block, and then these 2 to that, and then sew the sides on, and then your top and bottom you'll do the same, but add on your corner circles, and then you can sew that all the way across on top and bottom, just matching here, and making sure it all fits like we've done before. So we've done those parts before. We've done the flying geese before. If you have any questions, let me know, and can't wait to see you next month.